Iran was largely cut off from the outside world on Friday, January 9th, after authorities imposed a nationwide internet blackout amid escalating anti government protests. Iranian state television aired footage of clashes and fires, while the semi official Tasnim news agency said several police officers were killed overnight. In a televised address, Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei vowed not to back down, accusing demonstrators of acting on behalf of opposition groups abroad and the United States. The demonstrations are being described as the most serious internal challenge to Iran's clerical leadership in at least 3 years. Iranian rights group HRANA said it had documented at least 62 deaths, including 14 security personnel and 48 protesters, since demonstrations began on December 28th. Analysts say the government appears more vulnerable than during previous unrest, amid a deep economic crisis and heightened regional tensions following last year's war involving Israel and the United States. The protests began over economic grievances. Iran's currency, the rial, lost roughly half its value against the US dollar last year, and inflation surged above 40% in December. Since then, chants have increasingly targeted Iran's political leadership directly. UN spokesperson Stefan Dujarric said the United Nations was disturbed by the loss of life. He said people everywhere have the right to protest peacefully, and governments have a responsibility to protect that right. Iran, however, has placed the blame squarely on Washington. In a letter to the UN Security Council, Iran's ambassador accused the United States of working with Israel, of turning peaceful protests into violent unrest, and of interfering in Iran's internal affairs. Iran's mission to the UN in New York said on social media that the, quote, satanic plot hatched by the United States and the Zionist regime to fragment Iran and to engineer an internal civil war will be neutralized through the national solidarity of the government and the people of Iran, the ignominy of which will remain upon them, unquote. State television aired images of burning buses, cars, and motorcycles, along with fires at metro stations and banks, as security forces continued efforts to contain the unrest.